Hey folks, hey, this is Wesley, Virgin. Welcome to another Millionaire Midnight rant. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving. It's currently 11:54 p.m. here in Houston, Texas here. And I'm live. I'm live with another rant for you. So let me know that you're here, okay? And before we get started here, I want everybody to comment one thing below. And we're going to begin to do this all the time on podcasts because, as you listen to the podcast and listen very deeply here, I want to give you suggestions, right? I want to help you realize that listening to these rants are conditioning your mind for what you want. So I want you to write these words below. I am a multi-millionaire now. Go ahead and comment those words below. I am a multi-millionaire now. And that's my view, but I'm going to go ahead and kill that view. So go ahead and comment those words below here. I am a multi-millionaire now. I truly believe that repetition is the mother of skill. Anything that you focus on, even the thoughts that pervade your mind, would allow you to one day actually believe that you are. Does that make sense here? So, I love it. Let me go ahead and write this down here. Millionaire Midnight rant. Now listen, if you're brand new to the podcast, I don't know where you've been. We're number one in the world in the self-development space and the space of prosperity here. Right? And you can always find us on Google, right? Google.com, type in Wesley $1 Billion Virgin Podcast, and you'll see that I'm syndicated on Apple Music, iHeartMusic, Amazon Music, Spotify. We have hundreds of episodes that you can listen to. Why to become the greatest version of yourself. And that includes wealth. That includes health, your body, your physicality, and it also includes your emotional intelligence and your spirituality here. So I thought for a second, I said, what should we talk about tonight? But then I thought about you. I said, well, Wesley, how about you ask the people that are on the podcast? I know some of you are live with me right now on Instagram. So I said, how about I extend an olive branch and give you the opportunity to post your questions below, because I want to make sure I'm serving you. It's so important for me to serve you because I don't know what's going on with you. I know you're probably laying in your bed right now. You're probably at work. You're probably searching the internet, trying to find a way to make money. You're probably abhorred because you have to go to your job tomorrow and you don't want to do that. And you're looking for freedom, right? You're looking for a way out here. So I said to myself that how about I service you? Which means is if you have a question about business, about manifesting your dreams, about making progress. Because I don't want you to waste another year. It's 2022 right now. And I'm afraid that some of you are going to have the same 2023, right? Not making progress, still at the same job, same home, same car, same everything, right? And I think one thing that's very important for happiness to take place is progression. And you can't be happy if you're not making progress in life here. So, okay, I see the questions here. Hey, before I do that, can I give you guys a shout out? Go ahead and put your names here below. And I've had a ton of people reach out to me via DM and my email. They want to know more about the Genie script program. And the Genie script is just the course that I created when I first made my first million. As you folks know, I'm worth about $40 million in the digital marketing space. And in that course, I show you where you are right now, how to use your mind and your thoughts to make those thoughts real, right? How to actually take a thought and manifest it in the world, Okay. And that the course is called the Genie Script. You can go to google.com and just type in the Genie Script. And I thought I would just talk about it here. So since I don't have to reply to so many people via my email here, so many people want to get access to it because I think I've shared it in a previous rant, but people couldn't find it. So listen, it's Genie and script, like a prescription. So Genie Script. Just search that in Google and download it and just begin the course. And I promise you the course is pretty amazing, and not because I created it. We have thousands of testimonies inside the script itself. So read those things first and listen to people who are actually using it, and they're transforming. You know, some financially, some are transforming in their relationships. Some are just happier people. Some people are getting rid of, very negative, debilitating habits here. So it's been a blessing so far, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to do that here. All right, so can I give you guys a shout out? Hey, Shaniqua, how are you? Hey, Jackie. Damn, she popping. Gertas, Savian, Tella, the model, how are you? Monica, hey, what's going on? Lucia, Dara Savage, DeRay Savage, I got you here. Hey, Jordy, I got your question as well. Okay. And guys, what I'm going to start doing when I start to answer questions, I'm going to tag your questions. Okay. Is that cool? So I'm going to tag Jordy here. I'm going to pin it. So when new people join the rant, like many people are joining right now, and thank you for tagging people and sharing it out. You'll be able to know what I'm talking about. So when people post a question here, asking me something here for me to answer, you're going to see it right there. You see it right there? Can I get a thumbs up if you see it? Right? So that's Jordy. So you know that I'm not ignoring you. I would never do that. And I'm here for you, okay? Hey, Valerie, how are you? Pascal, Aaron, how are you? As a matter of fact, everybody take notes. Give me a thumbs up if you have a sheet of paper out taking notes here. Please take notes, okay? Please write this information down. Hey, Adriana, how are you? Elon, how are you? Lavish Goddess, how are you? And thank you. If I can get everybody to tag one person that you know that needs to be here, please do that for me. Okay, thank you. So here we go. I see you're learning new vocabulary. Which website are you using? So I truly believe communication is probably the cornerstone of my individual success, and not just financially, just with relationships with people, right? Just people in general, right? Communication is very important. So what I have done and what I've done for years, I have educated myself to learn new words, okay? I've been doing this for a very long time, just learning new words and inculcating these words inside of my vocabulary here. So, when I speak to people, depending on who I'm speaking to, I can speak in a very intelligible way, okay? So the YouTube channel that I watch and I listen to when I'm in my car is called Interactive English, okay? You can search Interactive English. The guy name is Wes. He's a white guy, and he has the same name as myself, Wes. And he talks about, the most used verbs. He speaks about how to speak more professionally. He speaks about how to be more influential. He talks about how to sound smarter, right? It's really good. It's really amazing, actually. And I listen to these words or to the channel when I'm on the way to the gym and when I drive home, okay, for about 15, 20 minutes each route here. It's a good question. Interactive English. Okay. All right, next question for me here. That was a great one. I like that. Always be learning, folks. ABL. What's next here? Okay. Next question for me. can we talk one-on-one? Sure, if you want to go live, I mean, do I have anyone that want to go live? I'm always open. I'm here to service you. Let me get comfortable. Give me a second. Let me get comfortable here. Okay. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Okay. All right, questions here. Yeah, if you want to go live, just come with the word go live, and I go live with you right now. Make sure your camera's on. Make sure I'm able to see you as well. Okay. When did you arrive? Hold on, let me tag this. When did you arrive at the point where the first experience, you experienced pure consciousness, and were you only focusing on your breathing and nothing else? Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I can't remember the first time I experienced pure consciousness, yeah. I mean, I experienced it quite a bit. I can't remember the first time, but I'll tell you this, Lucas. Like, if you're meditating, which that's how you reach pure consciousness, continue to meditate, right? And be very patient with it, because sometimes when you meditate, you will feel that the meditation was ineffective here. And I'm here to tell you that it's not ineffective. You just have to practice. Does it make sense? You have to do it over and over again. And the more you do it, like today, I meditated like 4 or 5 times today, right? And I did reach a level of pure consciousness where it's almost like I was unaware of what was going on. Pure consciousness, pure consciousness, for everybody that doesn't know what that means. It means when you're not thinking about nothing. You're not thinking about past, present, future. You're not thinking about anything. It's like a total blank. It's almost like time just goes away and you're like in the abyss. Does that make sense? So, yeah. What's next? Somebody said the Genie script is like a Bible. Thank you so much, Wiley. Wow, much love. That's a great compliment. I appreciate that so much. What's the next? Questions for me? If you want to go live, just come to the word go live. If you have a question here, post it below here. And always take notes. Wesley, you were dream and we had a business meeting. Are you saying that you had a dream? Not sure. What ideals do you have? Oh, here we go. Let's see. What ideas do you have on becoming a millionaire? Yeah, listen, it's many things you can do to become a millionaire, right? But honestly, if you want my honest, transparent advice here, and this is from a man who has tried a lot of things to make a couple of $1 million here, is I wouldn't focus too much on the $1 million. I will focus more on what you want from the $1 million, because think about it for a second. Do you really just want just $1 million in the bank account? I know some of you are saying, absolutely, yes, that's what I want, Wes. No, you want to use this money for something, right? Because the money is useless if it's just in the bank. You want to buy something, you want to purchase things, or you want to use the money to increase your quality of life, correct? Right? Of course. So think about what you want to do with the money, right? Because $1 million a year is like $83,000 a month. And you have to think to yourself, do you actually need $83,000? Maybe all you need is $20,000 a month, or $10,000 or $15,000 a month, to start. But think more about the quality of life that you want to live. Like, where do you want to live? What do you want to drive? Where you want to travel? And calculate it. And see how much money you really need, because maybe you don't need $1 million. Does that make sense? Next here. All right, here, looking at questions here below. Here we go. Can you please put the pen back you made, Wesley? Which pen was that? I'm sorry, Tama. I already moved on to the next person here. Here we go. Wes, in one of your recent Instagram stories, you were listening to a certain copywriter. What was the name? Oh, yeah, John Benson. John Benson. I was listening to him. So a little story about John Benson. And I know some of you don't know what I'm talking about here, so let me give you some context. So John Benson, this was the days when I was broke and I was like you, right? And I'm not saying that everybody's broke. Man, you got a little money, right? Whatever. But I was just average, right? Had a job I didn't like, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to be rich. So I went to a seminar. It was with ClickBank, and ClickBank, if you don't know, it's an affiliate marketplace that is online. I did very well on this platform. But I went to this seminar. No, actually, it wasn't a ClickBank seminar. It was this woman. It was this Caucasian woman, a very beautiful woman, and she had an event. I got invited to it. I don't know how I got to the event, honestly, but guys like John Benson was there. John Benson is probably one of the most prestigious copywriters on the planet right now. I mean, this man, he has, and let me tell you what copywriting is. If you ever watch the video online, and at the end of that video, they ask you to buy something, or if you ever watched the infomercial before. So that's just copywriting the words, right? Whatever that person is saying, whatever you're listening to, right? A sales presentation, that's called copywriting. This guy's the best, okay? He's really good. He's generated billions of dollars, and he charges a ton of money if you ever want him to write for you. So I met him, right? I went to the seminar, and I just didn't go to the seminar just to go to the seminar. I went to the seminar with an intention. And please write that down. Whenever you go to any conference or seminar or event to make money, right, make sure that you're strategic about it and you know who you're going to meet. And I wanted to meet this guy because I wanted to learn how to write copy. So he's on stage. He was selling his stuff. I think I ended up buying his stuff for about $2,000. And I remember meeting him in the hallway. Say, hey, John, how are you doing? I'm Wesley Virgin. Hey, great talk up there. Do you mind? Can I buy you lunch? He said, you want to buy me lunch? Well, I can't pass up on a free lunch. And let me tell you something. I had lunch with them for about 2 hours, and that was one of the most enlightening conversations I had. I learned so much about copywriting. I learned a lot about persuasion. I learned a lot about influence. Many of you know that I am a veteran when it comes to influence. Like, I'm able to get people to do what I want, right? But, not maliciously, right? It's a two-way streets, right? But this man really shared some things with me that opened my eyes about people and how to sell people and how to give people what they want and have them feel good about me giving them what I thought they should have based off the results that he wanted to get. Make sense? So they started to buy my stuff, right? And so John Benson, last night I was listening to him because I'm always learning, I'm always refreshing myself, and I'm always adding more tools to my toolbox here. So John Benson, man, if you want to write copy, study that guy's work. He's a genius. He's really good. Okay. What's next here? Questions for me? Wes, let's go live. All right, let's go live with Anise here. Here we go. Oh, he's unable to join. We'll catch him next time. By the way, that young man, he's a millionaire. Like I told you before, I know a lot of you believe that it's nothing but a lot of poor, average people that listen to me. No, it's several millionaires that are on here right now. You just don't know who they are, right? Many millionaires listen to me for whatever reason, and I'm grateful that they do, right? And questions for me here. Here we go. What's the best marketing skills you would recommend to someone just learning about it? Yeah, if you're brand new into affiliate marketing, right, I would say this. You have to make a choice if you want to be a person that creates products online or a person that promotes products online, right? And then after you figure that out, right, because those are two different skills, then I would say either find yourself a course or watch free YouTube videos, right? I mean, YouTube has a ton of information for free that you can just utilize, and you can learn more about
about how to market online. But you got to make a decision. You want to be an affiliate marketer, or do you want to create products? Right? You gotta figure that out first. Questions here. Let me see here. Here we go. My God. Let me see. Let me read this question here. Hey, Wesley. So I'm an entrepreneur as of now, and I'm stuck as of right now, and I'm super focused but can't seem to get out the hole. Any advice to keep going strong and how to think outside the box? Well, I would say you need to really pay attention to your language. Like when you say you're in a hole, which hole are you in? When you say you're stuck where? Like where are you stuck? Right? I would remove these words from your vocabulary, honestly, because I don't think you're in a hole right now, right? I think you're in a metaphorical hole, right, in your mind. But I wouldn't use that word to describe my situation. I wouldn't use being stuck to describe your situation. You're learning, right? Maybe you haven't discovered the solution to lead you to the result, but it doesn't mean that you're stuck. It doesn't mean that you're in a hole. It means that you're learning. You're learning. Does that make sense, my guy? Right? And maybe you are thinking outside the box. The fastest way to make millions of dollars, the fastest way to be really, really great at what you're trying to do is repetition, practice, trial and error, right? I mean, it's just no avoiding that. You have to, you may try thousands of things, and that's just the distinction or the separation between people that become wealthy and people who don't. The people who don't, they just give up. They quit. They stop. They procrastinate. They're lazy and make excuses here, right? So don't let that be you. Just persevere. What I've learned a long time ago, not a long time ago, because I'm young, right? Now, in my 20s, in my later 20s, I realized that, feeling bad about myself or feeling down because I'm not achieving something or suffering or being sad or disappointed, it was just a waste of time. It really was. And it was a waste of time that I could utilize to find a solution. So I just stopped feeling disappointed. I stopped being miserable or complaining and bitching. I just said, you know what? I'm gonna figure this out. I don't know when, but I will. And I just kept moving forward. And that's what you got to do. Okay? Got to keep moving forward, regardless of what's happening. Just keep moving forward. Okay? Questions for me here. Here we go. How many times did you fail in your business before you came into your $1 million success? And what do you believe you got through there? I failed quite a bit. I joined many network marketing companies. I used to sell vacuum cleaners. I used to sell the knives that cut coal. It was this coupon type weird business. I was selling meats in the back of a truck. I tried a lot of stuff. I bought a lot of courses. But what did it for me, and I hate to beat a dead horse here, but it was just meditation. Meditation really helped me get focused, and it enabled me to be more organized mentally. Okay. What a lot of you don't understand, you new people out here, you new entrepreneurs, you're so disorganized mentally, and you have so many thoughts that are happening all at one time, and you're trying to do so many things. You're trying to do plan A, plan B, plan C. Let me try this, let me try that, let me try that, let me do it. And your life is just chaotic, honestly, right? It is. It's chaotic. And that's why you're so disturbed and impatient, because you're not getting what you want. And you're not getting what you want because you have a disorganized mind. It's your inability to focus properly. Because listen, for you to excel, you have to have what is called deep focus on something. And, the only people who understand that are the people who are actually successful. I mean, it takes a lot of focus, takes a lot of time, and you got to separate. You got to kind of isolate yourself a bit here. So meditation allowed me to do that. It allowed me to turn down that monkey mind, all the voices, all the bad moments, all the negative issues that were taking place in my mind, right? Negative thoughts. So meditation helped me to disassociate from my current reality as it relates to the new reality that I wanted to experience. Make sense? So to put that very simple, meditation separated me from the current self from the new self, right? You got to detach that, because every time you got that working, you're working. But if you're working as the self that you are today, you're just going to be disappointed, because tomorrow you don't have the result. And this keeps happening over and over again. You work, no result. You work, result. So it's like, when do you invite the new self? See, the new self has to be detached, because the new self knows exactly what to do. So in meditation, you begin to build out the new self. And this is when we use what is called mental rehearsal. We call entrainment, hypnosis, right? Or, meditation. That's what it does, because you're building the characteristics of the new self. Okay. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Just want to make sure I'm explaining it to you so you feel good about this information now and it makes sense to you. Okay. Here we go. Wes, I love the questions here tonight. I'm loving you guys tonight because you're actually posting questions here below. I guess you're getting more comfortable with me. Thank you for that. Wes, when you were in a negative situation in the past and you had no choice to endure it and accept it, how did you deal with it on your way to being successful, and what specific steps did you take? You had to endure a negative situation in the past and you had to choose to endure it. How did you deal with it? Yeah, I mean, I've had several negative situations, obviously, in my life. I choose not to put no energy towards it, me personally, right? Because you got to remember something. Everybody has a choice in life. We really do. We have a choice, right, to make. And many people are unaware that we do have a choice. Like, you can choose to continue to think and talk about your negative situation, right? I get it. You're in a negative situation. It is what it is, right? But for you to continue to talk about it and to exaggerate it and to make it so hyperbolic, it's not going to service you, honestly. It's like, you're there. Like, say if you broke, can't pay your rent. All right, so for you to complain about it and bitch about it on how you can't pay your rent, that is not providing a solution. So I don't give negative experiences or negative anything. I don't give it energy. I'm just focusing on the solution. So while I'm in the negative situation, I'm just looking for the solution. And as a matter of fact, I learned later, as I got older, that the situation didn't have to be negative. It could be an indicator. Like, some people might think, if you suddenly, or your mom or dad or whatever, suddenly have a heart attack, okay, because of their lifestyle, maybe because they stress all the time, they eat unhealthy food, whatever. And you may think that's negative, right? You may say, oh my God, my mom had a heart attack, blah, blah, blah. But I would defer and say, no, that's a positive situation. Why? Because a heart attack is an indicator that you need to do something. Because I would rather they have a heart attack than die. Does that make sense? So negative experiences or negative moments are just indicators that you need to do something or it will get worse. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me here? All right. So, things that take place in your life that we view as negative, to me, are indicators for you to do something different. It's a great way to look at it, correct? What's next here? Questions for me here. Yes, right. Positive vibes only. And you have to teach yourself to be this way, by the way. Thanks, Bossy. You have to educate and teach yourself how through repetition, like listening to these podcasts here, and they're free. Like, I'm not charging you guys no type of Patreon account. It's free. And the reason why I push you guys and I want to compel you to listen to it is because you have to reprogram the mind. Just because you listen to me one time and some of the things I say, you may say, yeah, that makes sense. I had an aha moment tonight. Yeah, Wesley, you're making perfect sense. I'm going to do this. Well, that's just your consciousness, right? That's your conscious mind. It's a deeper part of your mind that needs repetition, right? To remove some of that old stuff. It's like, listen, it's like having an apartment with furniture and you've been living there for 5 years and now you make a decision that you want new furniture and you go out and buy new furniture, but you can't put the new furniture in with the old, right? You got 5 years worth of furniture in the house. You can't put the new furniture in because if you do that, it's going to look cluttered. It's not going to look good. It's going to look disorganized, right? You got to remove the old furniture first. So that's what you're doing when you're listening to this information, right? First, we're identifying that we have some furniture in the house that we need to replace, right? Some things need to go. Some thoughts, some beliefs need to go. And they'll only leave by listening to something that's opposite of what you're currently believing. Does that make sense? That's belief change at a high level here. How do I get those videos, Wesley? Which videos are you referring to? What's the next questions for me? Lucia. Hey, Wes, I'm about to launch a wine learning course online. Could you give me any advice on how to initiate successfully from your marketing experience? Yeah, start a YouTube channel. I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk, that's what he did. He had a wine company, right? And he decided to make YouTube videos. And this is before his success, or before he was like, he's pretty big now. But this is before that. He just started a YouTube channel and he was talking about the different type of wines. He was very educated in the wine business. I think his dad owned it. So that's what you can do as well, Lucia. Just start a YouTube channel, start a TikTok channel, and talk about the different types of wines and why you think people should purchase this wine versus another wine. That's what I would do first, right? Then after that, you can create a digital course, right? You can use Teachable, which is the platform to put your information on. You can use ClickFunnels, right? And then once you get an audience, you can sell your course to the audience that you currently have. Make sense? What's next here? Yeah, absolutely. Gary Vee is the GOAT. Yes. He's a great guy. Questions for me? Talk to me. Absolutely, bossy. Hey, David Wendell, how are you? Questions here. Posts their questions below here, folks. Open up. Open up. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. Would it be an excellent idea to record yourself speaking with passion as if you're giving others value and listen to it every day? Like how you listen to yourself, giving amazing value. Absolutely. Yeah. I used to do this too. I used to show on my iPhone. You have an app that's called Voice Memo, and I would record myself reading my goals. And I would record myself reading them very passionately with conviction. And I would just listen to it all day long, as much as humanly possible. So, Yeah, it's nothing like hearing your own voice confess with conviction your goals and dreams. Like, I'm so grateful now that I'm earning blah, blah, blah per month. I'm so grateful now that everything is working out in my favor. I'm so grateful. Right. So I record my voice and I would just listen to it. So absolutely, I will recommend that for sure. Do you listen to Naval Goodart lectures? Not recently. I mean, but he's great, but not recently, no. How did you deal with family pressure while being an entrepreneur? Family. Let's talk about family. So I guess you're talking about immediate family, mom, dad, cousins, uncles, and all these people. Honestly, and you folks might call me a savage here, but I cut them off. Okay, I cut them off I cut them off like an umbilical cord from a new baby. I cut that cut done. Yeah, I just cut them off, honestly, and not cut them off like forever. Well, some I did, but it was very easy for me to cut these people off. And let me tell you why it got easier. You know, the more I would read and the more I would understand more about what I wanted to do, because, you know, my family used to have these game nights and, you know, go hang out with your cousins and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if anybody can relate, right? Every week, game night at somebody's house, cousin, uncles, uncle, you know, whatever, hanging out with family. But the more that I would learn more about what I wanted to do, I just saw a gap with others, like my family. They all just was talking about going to school, getting a job, getting a promotion at the job, talking about politics, talking about just futile things I didn't want to talk about, you know, things that happen on the internet and the news media. I mean, I didn't really care, honestly, about none of this stuff. So, honestly, it got to the point that I was just getting annoyed. Honestly, I was just getting annoyed just being around them, right? I love them, but the conversation was just so futile. It was just so useless. It was just, it was very just, to me, derogatory, right? And not saying that they were just talking negatively, but just what they were talking about, I didn't want to talk about it. It was, to me, it was just a waste of my time. So it was easy for me to say, well, I'm not going to be able to come to the game night anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to hang with you guys. I didn't tell them this, obviously. I just told myself this. I'm not going to be able to hang with you guys anymore. You know, it's clear that, like, I was the only person that wants to be rich. Well, maybe they wanted to be rich too, but they weren't committed to being rich, right? They wanted to have fun with the game nights, right? And go to the family reunion, just have fun with each other. And that's cool. But it's not what I wanted. Like, I wanted more for me and my family, my children. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to buy fancy cars and live in penthouses. And I want to have millions of dollars in my bank account. So the mentality was different. So it was very easy for me to cut the umbilical cord. Does that make sense? And so it was no pressure, honestly, no pressure for me to do. I didn't care. And listen, if you can't get to the point that you can't care, like some of you just care too much about your family. You know, I'm not talking about your children. I'm talking about just your mom and your dad, your cousin, your uncles, all these people, whatever. Somebody smoking weed. I can't stand the smell of weed. I just hate it with the passion, honestly. Some of you, it's very difficult for you to cut off family because you have this emotional tie to these people. And listen, your inability to do that, let me tell you, it's going to be very difficult for you to make progression in business or in your life, because you're always going to be seeking approval from the people that you love most. And this is very detrimental to people's success, man. It just never happens because they try to find a way to still exist with these people and build their business. And I'm telling you, it's almost impossible, honestly, unless your dad or your mom are business owners and they understand the mentality, right? Or they're just extremely positive people and they support you. But other than that, listen, if you can't pull yourself away, you might as well just stay at your job for the next 80 years, man. I mean, just stay there, because if you can't make that decision to say, you know what, I love my family, but my family doesn't want to evolve how I want to evolve. And family are very influential, like more influential than anything, even more influential than me. Like, you can listen to me right now, but if your family say, hey, stop listening to that black guy online, he's a scammer, don't listen to him, he's a liar, go get a job, look what you've been, look at your life, you need to get your life together, you have the tendency to believe them, right? Because of the love you have for them, the emotional connection. And those people who have a emotional connection to you, they're the most influential in your life, by the way. Yeah. They're very influential, man, and extremely here. So don't think that you're strong enough to power this out. You're not. It's not going to happen that way. That's not how the mind works. You can't remain around people that disregard your goals and your dreams, or say it's impossible, or say you need to get your shit together, or you need to just get a job, or you're in the business, stop doing all this crazy. Like that, it affects you. You have no clue. It affects you deeply here. And that's why you folks have the question here about family, because it hurts, right? It hurts because you want these people to support you, but they're just not. And they're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to give you the best advice that they can give you, but they're not rich, or they're not millionaires, obviously, right? They're struggling just like you. So you can't listen to these people, even though it appears that the advice is genuine and it's sincere, but they can be sincerely wrong. So you got to be very careful of hearing sincere advice. Someone can give you some advice that is just sincerely incorrect, right? That's going to lead you down the wrong path. Okay. Great question, though. I got to cover my nose. All right, what's next here? Talk to me. Are you guys getting value here? Talk to me. I don't feel the energy here. Okay? Don't piss me off. Keep me happy. Any pointers on becoming rich, not just rich, but smart rich? I'm a diesel mechanic and I'm making decent money, but I want to make more because I'm worth more and I'm very persistent. I just had a daughter. Well, congratulations on your daughter, man. I'm sure she's beautiful and gorgeous. So cool. So if you want to make more, like what do you want to do? Listen, when, and this happens to a lot of, I hear people comment, or I see people comment and say, I want to make more. I want to make more. Well, how much more? Like, how much more? You gotta have a number. You gotta know what that number is, right? Maybe you're making 5,000 a month. You want to make 10,000, but you need to know what the number is, right? First, then, okay. So what do you want to do to make that happen, right? Just like your diesel mechanic, correct? So let me ask you a question. How many years did it take you to become an expert, right? So anything that you start new, you got to give some time to perfect the skill as well, right? So it's the same process here, but you need to be very clear about what you want. You can't just say, I want to make more money. I mean, I can give you $1 and that's more money, but you're not being specific, which is very important when you're trying to manifest things in your life. Okay. Thanks for the follows. What's next here? Negative emotions in people. Wesley, how do you block off negative emotions in people? What do you mean? Take out your phone and block them. Easy. You don't need to block negative emotions, folks. I mean, negative or painful emotions are necessary, first of all. That's a whole nother video, though. But anybody that's negative, just block them. Do exactly what I do when someone's listening to me live and they're speaking a bit negative or derogatory, I just block them. That's it. I mean, and that just never know they exist. They go into the abyss, man. They go into the pool of poverty, man. I don't, it's just over. Block them. Okay? Delete them. Cali girl. Next question here. Wes. What event, situation, issue, or event did you realize you had tough skin? When I was born. I'm just kidding. That's a great question, actually. That's a really good one. Oh my God. Man, my body is hurting, folks. I worked out today. Oh my God. And that was a tough one. Give me a second. I need a massage. All right, check it out. So when did I figure out that I had tough skin? I think when I first got fired from from a job that I've been at for like almost 2 years, and I got terminated. And you know how some people just break down, either get drunk, get high after they get terminated, or they bitch and complain about their boss and talking about how they gonna sue this company. I'm gonna sue them. You ain't doing that shit, right? I just realized that I don't know. I didn't really care too much about it. It didn't affect me that much. I was just thinking that, okay, so they terminated me. So which means is a job is not going to be the game plan for me, which means I need to start a business. I need to start something that I could be self-reliant with. So I think I was at 21 years old, man. I just realized that. And I didn't really call it tough skin, honestly. I just didn't care too much about it. Like, I wasn't going to give them any energy and complain and bitch. Why would I do that? That's giving them energy, right? If they let me go, it's their loss. So I didn't give anybody energy. If I got terminated or fired or something negative took place in my life, I mean, I didn't want to give the situation any energy at all, actually. To me, it was just a waste of time. Hey, Kara, how are you? Hey, Bill. Next question for me. Trey Oates, what's going on, my guy? Edgar. Next question here. Absolutely. I'm always going to put you guys on game here. And don't be afraid to get a little bit deeper with your questions here. Like, you have to imagine if I'm there right next to you and you could ask me anything, and whatever that question is can change the trajectory of your life. What would that question be here? Right? Because I don't want 2023 or next year to be the same. Right? Comment below if you don't, like, do you want 2023 to be the same as 2022? I mean, do you? Do you want to repeat the same income, same job, same situation? No. Okay, well, let's talk. Let's chat here. How do you foolproof your dynasty? I mean, I don't know, because I'm not creating a dynasty here. I'm not trying to create a dynasty at all. I mean, maybe a legacy, but foolproof it, man. I mean, if I'm being very honest with you, there's no foolproof of anything. It's like trying to give you a foolproof blueprint of success. Like, I can share with one, but it's not foolproof. The reason why is, like, I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what's happening in your individual life. Like, all of you that's listening to me right now, I don't know what's going on in your life. So I can give you a foolproof blueprint, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to actually utilize it or stay consistent with it, right? Because I don't know what's going on in your life. Only you can create the foolproof system for yourself. Like, you, just based off your actions and activities and your discipline. It's up to you, honestly. Does that make sense? The responsibility is totally on you, okay? Wes. Hold on. Wes, when making a YouTube channel, what do I even talk about? Talk about something that you have a skill in, that you do very well, talk about that. Okay. Here we go. They say 10,000 hours is how to master a skill. I say it's 100,000 hours to truly master something. What do you think? Why would you say 100,000 hours? Right? And who told you 10,000? Like, who is they? Who is they? You talking about Malcolm Gladwell? Right? No one really knows how many hours it is, right? We just use that arbitrary that arbitrary number because it just, I don't know. They do break it down in the book. What's the book called? The Tipping Point. It's a good book by Michael Gladwell. They just say this. It's going to take. I tell people to perfect something like 5 to 8 years. Give yourself 5 to 8 years at a minimum to become a master at anything. Yeah, and it is what it is. And some people, they do it earlier, but not a lot of people. It's highly unlikely that many people would do or make $1 million in 2 years, unless their daddy was a millionaire or they have access to money, things of that sort. But I'm talking about a self-made millionaire that kind of came out of poverty or averageness, and mom and dad just had a blue-collar type job, just regular everything. So I would say 5 to 8 years for sure. Questions here. How do I keep that positive mindset? Help me understand. Yeah, if you want to keep a positive mindset here, and I'm not being partial, listen to the rants. Listen to this stuff, right? How many of you feel more positive because you're listening to me right now? How many of you feel more inspired, right? You just feel like, okay, I can do it. If Wesley can do it, if big-headed Wesley can do it, like Wesley dropped out of college, Wesley got kicked out the army, Wesley been in jail a few times, mugshot on the internet right now. If Wesley had bad credit, if Wesley had a repossessions, 2 of them, if Wesley had evictions, then why can't I do it? Wesley grew up in the ghetto, south side of Houston, Texas. Parents never made more than $20,000 a year. So, like, if I can do it, why not you? Right? So, in the beginning, it's difficult to have a positive mindset is because you're not surrounded around people who think this way, honestly. Like, if you was around me all the time for like a year, I'm pretty sure you'll be in a great situation, obviously, money-wise, because you're just around me. But unfortunately, I can't be around all the people that listen to me, right? So that's why I post this information on the podcast, right? The Wesley $1 Billion Virgin podcast. So you can have a virtual relationship with me. Because what I do on these podcasts, I do my best to talk to you as if I'm having a conversation with you right now. Like you and I, we're talking face to face. I'm looking at your eyes, you're looking at me, and we're talking, right? And you're listening, you're taking notes here. So remember, in the beginning, you have to prime yourself. You have to put things around you to keep you positive because you're just not familiar with being positive all the time. Most people, they spend more time in negativity or negative thoughts. Make sense? All right? Many of you just spend more time thinking about negative thoughts than positive thoughts. So you got to recondition that mind. Ooh, that yawn felt good, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? What's next here? Hey, are you getting value here tonight? Comment below. If you're on the podcast right now on Spotify, Apple Music, give me a comment and, give me a review. I don't mind if you just give me a cool review. We're still building this thing out here. So if you're getting value, if you find yourself wanting to give me a review, do it. Just write it quick. Say, Wes, you're amazing. I love that big-headed West man. Something nice. Nice words go a long way, and I'm making a contribution to you. So you don't have to make a contribution to me, but if you decide to make a contribution to me, I would really appreciate that. Okay. Get a cup of coffee, buddy. This finna been a finna? Finna not a word. Oh, don't worry, I'm ready. Let's go. I don't need coffee. I'm good, baby. Let's go. Post the questions below. I don't see the questions here. You guys are slacking. Okay? I'm ready. How can I get more clear on my goals and be laser focused? Yeah, I talked about this on the previous rant. If you want to be clear with your goals, you need to prime yourself, which means you need to put your goals around you. I mean, pictures of the goals that you want to achieve. Cars, vacation. That's what I did. I have 5 vision boards right now. And I built out these vision boards when I had nothing. And I will look at these pictures on a daily basis. I will hang them on my wall, my refrigerator, everywhere in my room. So I would constantly remind myself. I was even listening to a neuroscientist today, and he was talking about how subliminal images and the reticular activating system, which controls your ability to focus, it works. It is very powerful. You just don't realize how powerful your mind is when it's involved in the collective unconsciousness, right? There's just so many things that are going on. Even right now, there are things going on outside your awareness, but your mind is picking it up. It's just outside of your awareness. Like the conscious mind can only accept about 7 bits of information here. And that's just you listening to my voice, listening and understanding what I'm sharing with you here, and actually applying this stuff. But there's many things that are going on outside your awareness right now. It's noises, the AC, the fan is blowing, right? Maybe your leg itch, maybe your body cold, maybe you're hot, right? It's just so many things that are happening. So you can prime your home to ensure that the goals that you want to achieve happen. Let me see here. What are some important habits you suggest we implement for massive success? Of course, bossy baby. One habit is discipline. Okay, got to be disciplined. It's important, right? And discipline is just being able to have authority over the new self and not the current self. And what they mean is, to be disciplined is you're trying to become something. That's the reason why you're doing what you're currently doing. You want to become something new, something different. So you have to have authority over that person, which means is if you need to work out, you can't tell yourself, well, I don't feel like working out. Like you have to demand, you have to tell yourself, get your ass up and get to the gym, right? You got to talk to you. You have to compel yourself to do this. Another habit or trait is belief in oneself. Like you have to truly believe in yourself. And you may say, well, how do I believe in myself? Well, you have to talk to yourself. They have a book that's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. You have to speak to yourself. Tell yourself, I believe in you, Wes. I believe in you. You got this, right? Because your beliefs, they derive from your parents, people that raise you, or the authority figures that took place in your childhood. So you have to reprogram everything because obviously your parents didn't do a great job. You got beliefs of poverty, beliefs it's too much money, that's too expensive, we don't have money, you have to work hard for money. So it's just a lot of deprogramming that needs to take place. Okay. So discipline, beliefs, and the last one I give you is you got to take massive action every day. You got to take action. And you have to take action even when you don't see any sign of the result. And that's the tough part, is taking action. Take action with tears in your eyes. Take action when they take your house, when they take your car. Take action when you have bad credit. Take action when they're getting ready to turn off your lights. Take action when you have to go back and stay with your parents. Take action when you go to a divorce. Got to take action when that person tells you they don't want to be with you. You got to continue to take action. It's important. Okay? Uh, Mr. Black Family said, I penalize myself if I even think about not going to that. Well, how do you penalize yourself, my guy? Hey, Marilyn, how are you? Here we go. Have discipline with your new self, not the old self. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. How's your day going? How your day is going to go? You asked me how my day was. It was amazing. Like I spent Thanksgiving by myself. Kids, they're gone doing their thing with their mother. And I just spent time with myself. I worked out this morning and I worked a lot today. A lot. I even had a vision of a new company that I will be building out in 6 months. So yeah, I mean a lot of serendipities took place today, man. I'm very excited about the future and what's taking place here. So I love just being alone at times and just really organizing my thoughts in my mind for my own success. Hey, Davina, how are you? After how long do you let go to allow the universe to work? Uh, yeah, so he wants to know how long do you let go? I mean, now, like forever. Like when you really get great and become an expert at manifesting and meditating, you'll always be what is called flow. Like right now, I'm in flow. You know what I mean? I'm in flow. I know that you're listening to me, right? I know, and I know that you get value as well. And I know that I'm delivering this information in a way that's very persuasive, and you're understanding every word I'm sharing with you here. So I'm in flow, and to let go is to be in flow. Let go means just stop trying so hard to think about the solution and create it. Just relax, just work, go to the trial and error. Don't rack your brain trying to, well, what's wrong with this, what's wrong with this, just relax, work and relax, right? Sometimes take a break from the work, do something else, go meditate, go watch a documentary, right? But you have to learn to be in flow, and I would suggest to always let go. Like me, I don't have any hold on anything. I just feel like life just naturally gives me everything that I desire, and it does. Uh, when when did oh, wait, when did when you don't when you don't take action, why does that opportunity seem to go away? I wouldn't say the opportunity goes away. I think the opportunity is still there. But I do believe there are some opportunities that you probably miss out on, like Bitcoin. Right? We all missed out, right? And with about Bitcoin at $1, we will be about 50 of them will be rich right now, right? Right. So some opportunities we miss. It's okay, but what I want to share with you, there's always an opportunity, man. Every day there's another opportunity that's waiting for you to take hold of. Just gotta open your mind. Open your mind, open your eyes, and look for it. Because it's there. Okay? What's next here? Do you believe in astrology? When you say believe, do you mean that do I utilize it to navigate the world? Absolutely not. Do I believe some people believe in it? Yeah, I do. They do, but I don't. Which means is, this is my thoughts about astrology. About the moons and the red moons and I don't know. I think this is nonsense. And trying to identify people as Capricorn, Aries, Sagittarius. Honestly, I think this comes from this idea that people, they just want to guarantee so badly in life. When I say they want to guarantee, they say, well, if I'm Capricorn and Capricorn and I want this type of person and that person is Aries, so that means I only attract Aries, right? We're like, well, this is the type of person that I attract. Or I'm this type of person. I'm a Sagittarius because Sagittarius, they're confident, but they get sad at times. I I don't I don't understand why people, it is so important for them to identify to something and to guarantee that's what it is. Listen, life is not black and white. And when you believe in astrology, that's what you want. You want a black and white type of scenario. You want to say, well, it's either this or that. But it's not, that's untrue. Because every sign in astrology, everybody can be something in every single sign. Whether it's Aries, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Like I can say, well, Capricorns are natural leaders. Everybody that's a Capricorn, even if you're not a natural leader, you would say that you are because that's what you want to be. You have to understand, or you may say, well, I'm an Aries, I get upset quickly. I mean, but who doesn't, right? So it's so general. But people have this proclivity to want to understand themselves. And they want to understand themselves in a way that's just black and white, which means they don't believe that they're dynamic people. Like we're all dynamic people, which means we're always changing based off the event in a certain type of situation. Does that make sense? Okay. Like we're always changing. Like you're going to act a certain way with your parents, young people. And then you act a certain way with your boyfriend. You act a certain way with your girlfriend. You act a certain way with your guy friend. Right? You're always dynamic. You're always changing, right? Some situations you're more confident. Some situations you're not confident. Some situations you can do it. Some situations you doubt you can do it. Does that make sense? So we're dynamic, right? So you can't just label yourself as, oh, I'm a Capricorn. Oh, I'm this. No. What do you mean? No. You're just looking for a guarantee. That's why people go to psychics. That's another sign of bullshit as well. It's untrue. It's tricks, folks. I suggest you don't go to psychics. It's tricks. Like I can talk an entire rant about psychics and people who are trying to tell you the future. These are charlatans, man. These are tricks. You just got to read more books. Got the books to tell you. Okay. Let me see here. It helps people to build their identities. No, I wouldn't say that, Lucia. I don't think astrology helped people to build their identities because I think most people don't even know what their identity is or who they want to be. And if I go to an astrologist or a numerologist or a psychic and say, hey, what's my identity? What am I supposed to be doing? I mean, you're paying them to tell you. And why wouldn't they tell you? They're getting paid, right? They can tell you anything they want to tell you, right? They can tell you anything. Oh, you're supposed to be a doctor. Oh, you're supposed to be a lawyer. Oh, you're supposed to be a mother. Whatever. These people would tell you anything. And what you don't realize, you do what is called transference. Transference is when you give people too much power outside of you. This happens in church, like pastors. And I'm not ragging on church. But, think about it. Pastors of a church. The parishioners give the pastor all the power because he or she feels that the pastor is powerful. He has the knowledge, and we're learning from him. So it's whatever he says. We don't even do research. We don't. try to discover what he's saying is right or wrong. We just believe, right? So got to be very careful with this stuff, honestly, and you got to realize that you have the same amount of power as well. Like me, I'm not trying to be you guys' guru or your God. Like you have the same, I'm trying to help you understand that you have the same power that I possess, which is the power of certainty. That's it. I just have the power of certainty, which means whatever I say, I believe it. But you don't have to believe what I say. You don't have to accept it, right? You could do other research and say, well, Wesley, you're wrong. And that's okay. It's not a big deal for me, right? But you got to be very careful when you're relinquishing your power to others. You're powerful, okay? You can figure it out for yourself. It's your life. You don't need a psychic to tell you when you're going to find a husband. You don't need a psychic to tell you when you're going to make $1 million. No one knows this stuff. And, some of you might say, well, I went to one and it happened. Yeah, but you did that. Your belief in what that person told you. Because one thing about psychics are anybody, pastors and leaders and motivational speakers, they have the power of certainty. So when they speak to people such as yourself, they speak with passion and conviction, and they speak what is called truisms, right? So it just sounds true because of how they're saying it, right? I mean, I do this, but I do it genuinely. Like I actually believe what I'm talking about here. So imagine someone telling you something, but they don't really believe it. They're just using tricks, right? I could do a whole lesson on this, honestly. What's next here? I've been to a witch. She told me the truth about my life, things and names. She told me things that were in the past. Folks, look, the best way I can explain it to you, for everybody that believes in, you believe in witches, you believe in warlocks and psychics and all these people. And you may say, well, Wesley, they knew exactly where I was on March 15th, 1988. They knew exactly my ex-husband's name. Listen. Have you ever seen a magic trick? Like David Blaine, Darren Brown, or Chris Angel. You ever seen a magic trick on TV or in person? And you see them do it, right? And you're like, God damn, what did he do? You're like, God damn, that's impossible. How did that man walk on air like that? Like I went to Vegas and I saw Chris Angel walk on air, right? And even though I'm like, oh, this is impossible, it's crazy. But I know it's a trick because it's a trick. It's always a trick. Listen, it doesn't matter how, you might say, oh my God, this is amazing. How did they do that? What I'm here to tell you, magicians, it's a trick. They will even tell you it's a trick. You just don't know what they're doing because you're ignorant, right? You just don't know. Same thing with the psychics, man. You just don't know. Man, they have a documentary on YouTube. You should watch it. I can't remember the name, but they got one guy. That's all he does. He just cracks all these false people wide open, man. I mean, he just shows you the tricks of what these people are doing. Psychics, the people that talk to the dead. He kind of shows you the tricks, man. It's on YouTube somewhere. You can find it. But what I'm here to tell you, it's all a trick, man. It's a trick. It is a trick. You just don't know. Okay? And the trick is usually bundled with showmanship, psychology, mentalism. You just got to read more books, man. Read. It's all in books, honestly. It's all in the books. Wes. When did you realize that you wanted to give back to others as a mentor? Before or after the time frame, success and well? Yeah, it was before I was successful, honestly. Because I believe, I don't think I've never shared the story before, but when I was in that small little bedroom apartment, it was one day, man, everything was clear to me. I swear to God, it was before I made the money too. But I was reading so many books, right? I was really going on the rabbit hole of psychology and NLP and behavioral influence and just understanding people, right? And I just got it. It made sense to me. When I say I got it, I understood that um, I understood that this proverbial matrix, it exists. It really does, right? Whether it's the real matrix or not, or the idea of the matrix, which is people. And I'm not going to listen. It may be people on the planet that's keeping you guys in the matrix. You know, it probably, but that's speculation, right? I don't know for sure. But I'm saying this: there are things that are happening on the planet that is meant for you to stay exactly where you are. There are things that are happening on this planet that is keeping you exactly how you are, where you are, and for you to be content. Does that make sense? It is things that are happening on the planet that's keeping people dismotivated, keeping them lethargic and lazy. Like I can name a few: government programs, food stamps, housing. Like all this stuff is created for you to be lazy, honestly, and dismotivated. So I understood that one night. You know, it just was clear to me. And that I knew I had to share this information with the world. I wanted to. I said, man, people need to know this stuff. Oh my God. And this is before I made $1 million. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell people this stuff. I have to share with them. Right? They need to understand what's going on. So how they can circumvent this stuff. Because if they don't, you're gonna be exactly where you are. Like it doesn't matter how hard you try. You can work so hard, but like without really understanding this information and applying it, you're just gonna be in a circle. What I mean is, like you'll just be reading books, you'll be going to seminars, you'll listen to a motivational speaker, you separate from the world, you know, but you'll never ever get out of the matrix because it's the mentality, and that's why I talk so much about mindset because it is the mind. If anything that's taking place on the planet that is working is holding people's minds prisoner. Captivity, man. Your mind is, people think that they're limitless. People feel that they need something outside of them to fix themselves. People use drugs to change their mood and their behavior, weed, smoking, and vaping. You know, think about it. Look at it. It's insane, is it not? You know, we have chemicals out there that just makes us dumber, not smarter, like weed, vaping, smoking. It makes you dumber, not smarter, right? It debilitates the cognitive functioning of the brain. You'll see as you get older, right? Because you'll be dumb as shit. But you don't believe me, but you'll see drugs, all kinds of drugs that people take. It's insane, right? And I believe that it's people. I don't know if they exist, but I just do believe it's people that know exactly what they're doing, man. They know. They're keeping the world at a certain type of equilibrium, you know, as far as wealthy people and people that'll never be wealthy here. And so when I got that, man, I knew I had to make a contribution to the world, honestly. What books you prefer I read? You know, it all depends on what you're trying to do. I would say read Think and Grow Rich, read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Start there. Blue Dream, how are you? Maria. Questions? Yeah, and it's like, you know, I don't want to get religious on you guys, but and this is my thoughts and my philosophy. Like like some of you believe that there's a devil, and I'm here to tell you that the devil doesn't exist. Now, listen, I know it's hard for you to accept that, and you know, you might immediately feel emotional about, oh, it is a devil, it is a devil, he's deceiving all of. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Listen, that's that's pretend and imagine we believe there's a God, right? There's a God, right? We'll believe that there is a God, okay? And you might say, well, Wesley, if you have a good thing, you got to have a bad thing. No, not necessarily. Listen, even in the Bible, it talks about the free will. And the free will is, to explain it in a way that you'll understand it, it's just power, right? Free will is just, you can use the power how you want to use it. It's like a hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house, or you can use a hammer to kill somebody, right? So what we call the devil is, it's just the power being used in a negative way. But it's not like something. Now I get it, devil's in the Bible, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, it's no devil. To me, it was like the devil itself, this symbolism or whatever, it was created for us to put blame on it. Now listen, watch this. When you put blame on something else outside of you and say, well, the devil deceived me, the devil was in that person, that's the reason why I did that, the devil was trying to ruin my life, then you never ever think about taking accountability nor responsibility of your own personal actions. Does that make sense? Because you have something to blame. So it's like the devil was created so you can blame something, right? Right? Because you don't want to blame yourself. Of course not. So if I could blame the devil, oh, you come here to trick and deceive. So you think something is tricking you and deceiving you, but the big deceiver is you. But I'll say this, someone on the planet don't want you to know that. I'm telling you. Like, you'll fight me tooth and nail right now on this. You will. And I get it. That's why I don't have religious discussions with people, because they just don't have the ability to be objective, just so emotional because of the programming. I know, because I'm a PK kid. I'm a preacher's kid. So I've been in church all my life. So I understand it. But I'm telling you, it's no devil that exists. And even if a devil did exist, it doesn't serve you to believe that it does, because you will have the tendency to blame that. When you say, oh, the devil got inside of me. No, it's you. And that's, as people, we don't want to blame ourselves for things. We have the tendency to pass blame, always. And if you continue to pass blame, you never get better, by the way. Like, you never get better. You never achieve what you want. And your life is like a seesaw, right? That's, some of you are like this. Your life is like a seesaw, right? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's your life. Sometimes you're positive, then you're negative. Positive. You wonder why this happens? You wonder why your life is so emotional. It's like a seesaw effect. Like, you're up, then you're down. You're up, you're down. Like, for years and decades. Let me tell you why. Because you don't take full accountability of what's happening. You blame something. You can blame your mama, your daddy, your significant other, the devil, God, but you're blaming something, right? You're blaming something other than yourself. So if you have the habit of doing this, then you'll be in the matrix. You'll be in this cycle of misery. Make sense? I mean, something to think about, folks. Listen to it again. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to accept everything I just shared with you. But I just want you to think outside the box a little bit, okay? Because a lot of you are in the box. That's why you're so confused about why you're not reaching any type of level of success in your life. You got to get out the box. Out of the box means is you have to open your mind to new types of thinking, despite the thinking that you're only emotional about. Many of you have beliefs that you emotionally tied to. There's no logic even attached to it. You just like, oh, I feel it. I feel it in my heart. Stop it. Listen, you have to educate yourself. You have to have a sense of conscientiousness. Okay? All right, next question for me here. Talk to me here. Let's see questions for me. Let me see here. Somebody said, say that one more time. Questions here. And I know some of you are thinking hard. You're like, And some of you just turned off by that. And that's okay. Usually the truth does turn off people, right? It's just the truth. People, it just aren't my version of the truth, right? And, but All I ask you to do is do your research, do your due diligence about whatever you believe. And I have a question here. Give me a second. How do you get better at picturing things? I have the Genie script and feel like it's helping. Easy, King. Keep going through the Genie script. That's it. What did I say when you first start the course? Listen to it over and over again. Repetition is the mother of skill. There are things that your brain is assimilating. Understand, your brain has neurotransmitters. Your brain has connections in it, right? So whenever you listen to something over and over again, your brain is formulating new connections. It's just like listening to a song that you like. The reason why you're able to rap the song, 21, 21, 21, do your thing, 21, 21, 21, right? Some of you already know the song. You know the song, right? Because you listen to it several times. And the brain is so mysterious but so intellectual that it creates neural maps and it connects neurotransmitters together in a way that it will learn that song, that you don't have to write it down, you have to study it just by listening to it over and over again. So the same thing with my information with the Genie script. I created it in a way that that's what it does. So all you need to do is just listen to it over and over again. Okay? That's it. What's next? Questions for me. Questions. Talk to me here. What's going on, Miss Taurus? Or you, Jennifer? Or you? Questions here. You guys still getting value, ladies, gentlemen, queens, kings? I know we're getting deep here tonight, but I think it's important to go deep. How many of you agree with me that sometimes it's important to go deeper to really understand the deeper meaning of life? And I'm talking about your life. And many of you are so surface level, right? You're so surface level because maybe you're afraid to know the truth. But I think as individuals, we all know the truth about ourselves, about like how we are as people. But we don't want to face the truth, which is our true selves. But you got to face it, man. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with the deeper part of yourself. You got to deal with the part of yourself that procrastinates, that's lazy, that's fucking up, that's doing stupid shit. You got to face that animal, right? And you got to make a choice what you want to do with that animal. Make sense? Good job, Philip, Rosemary. Questions here. Post your questions below, please. How do you face negatives of self-preservation? What do you mean? What negatives about self-preservation are you referring to? I feel like my friends shy away from me because I hate small talk and like combos like this. Well, yeah, get rid of them, of course. Do I leave them? Absolutely. Leave them. Let me ask you, Jim Rat, are they paying your bills? Are they paying your car note? Are they going to pay your rent next week? So what are they? Let me ask you a question. Like, what is their purpose in your life? So, and that's another thing about a lot of you. Like, you have all these people in your life. People pride themselves on having all friends. Oh, I got so many friends. I got so many friends. So many people love me. And I'm like, well, what is their purpose in your life? Is their purpose just to tell you that you're amazing? Right? Is that all? What else are they doing? What are they doing in your life that is assisting you to achieve greatness? And many of you, nothing. friends are doing nothing at all, just making you laugh at lame, stupid jokes, probably. Or just have conversations like men have conversations about girls and women that they'll never sleep with, right? Women talk about each other and talk about other women and talk about men, how they'll never stop cheating and they'll never find the man of their dreams and how they're looking for the next bag, whatever. It's just such futile conversations. It's so useless to me, it's just insane. Listen, you want to be around a person that has some substance, right? You want to be around a person that when they speak, you want to listen. When they speak, it feels that they're so deep inside you that they're hitting parts of you that needed to be ignited, okay? Because that's where transformation happens in people's lives, right? People become very numb to life. And even though they want to change, but they know they never will because they're just numb to it. They're just like, whatever, it is what it is, right? That's why you have drinking and smoking, right? That's what you do when you're numb, whatever. But you want to be around a person that has some substance to them, a person that understands how to be disciplined, a person that has a purpose. And that's just, this conversation at this point is what women need to think about when you're looking for a suitor. Okay, you want a man that has some substance. Yes, you should find you a wealthy man, a man that can provide, right? If you're lucky, you get a good looking man too. But you want a man that has some substance, right? A man that can teach you some stuff, some man that can share things with you that you never even thought about it that way, right? Because that's fulfilling. It's like, wow. And that changes lives. It changes how you perceive life. Does that make sense? That's what you want. Because it's fascinating to be with a man like that, women. I know we took a little left turn here, but, it's fascinating to be with a man that it's almost like he understands the deeper part of you. He understands your emotions. He knows what to say, when to say at the right time to calm you down, right? It's very powerful to do that because it helps you live and have a better quality of life while you're on the planet, right? Which is important. You want to feel good. You want to feel better. You want to feel happy. So you want to be with a man with substance. And men, you need to learn how to become a man of substance, right? I know a lot of you men, you try to work on your looks. Great, do that. A lot of you men, you're trying to make money. Great. But educate yourself about life. Ask yourself the hard, tough questions. What is the meaning of life? Or what's the meaning of your life? You ever ask yourself that question? You ever ask yourself laying in your bed and say, what's the meaning of my life? What contribution do I want to make to the world? What am I going to be known for when I'm gone? You ever thought about that? These are very deep questions here. Questions you need to ask yourself, okay? What do you want to do on this planet that's going to make your children proud, your wife proud, your girlfriend proud of you? Right? Very important. What's next? Hey, Poppy, how are you? Dominique, Realtor, Jacqueline, how are you? We have some new faces in here tonight, some new queens in here. I want to know something. I'm going to do a poll. How many queens are in here tonight? Q for king, Q for queens, and K for kings. I just believe that it's just more women in here than men, and which is, to me, is insane. Because I would think more men are being here. But, women are just phenomenal, man. God. That's why I love working with them. I'm just curious. Next question for me here. What book are you currently reading that's very powerful? One day I'll share with you, but not now. I want you to be focused. You don't need to read that book right now. What's next here? Talk to me. All right, here we go. K's, Queens. Hey, Davita Boss, how are you? The New Way of Living. Can you take a chapter out of the book you eventually write and speak on it? You see this question right here? So many of you, like some of you who've been listening to me for a very long time, I've been speaking about the book that I'm going to write, because everybody wants me to write a book, right? Especially when they hear me speak and talk, right? And I'm just a man that's a paragon of knowledge in the area of self-growth and self-development and navigating the world very successfully, right? In every aspect of the world, of the word. And I don't know when I'm going to write the book. I don't know when. But the reason why I'm reluctant to write the book now, because, well, the book is going to be very interesting. Because I'm not going to bullshit. I'm just going to tell you like it is, honestly. And even though, yes, I believe that we have the freedom of speech, but there are consequences when you have the freedom of speech. That's what they don't tell you, right? We have certain people today that we are very aware of. They're just sharing their freedom of speech, their narrative about what's happening. And but this person is getting castigated and criticized very heavily about people that you would never know, you would never meet, right? And got to be very careful and cautious of what you say and what you write. It is what it is. But the book I want to write it the way I want to write it. I do. But at the same time, I'm thinking on how I can deliver the information as I become more significant on the planet. Like right now, I'm significant, but not that significant, right? I mean, we only got 56 million people in here right now, right? So, and I'm small potatoes, but I'm growing fast, right? So, I don't know, Okay, I'll give you one chapter of the book. How about that? I'll talk about it real quickly here. One chapter in my book will be Life is a Fucking Game. That's going to be the chapter. Life is a fucking game. It really is. And when I say life is a game, I'm talking like life is like a video game, and it really is, right? Which means it's like you can reset the game. Some people think the game is hard. They quit, they give up. Some people play it and just continue to play because they like the challenge. But life is a game. But see, the reason why I call it a game because listen, the reason why it's a game, because you can't take it too seriously. Okay. People take life very seriously, and you shouldn't. And I'm gonna write about it in the book. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, and I'm gonna show you why you should not take the life so seriously, man. Because life is like a simulation. I'm not saying it's not real, but it's like a simulation because everybody has different attitudes, personalities, and those personalities and attitudes are dynamic. They're always changing all the time, man. You know what I mean? What people say is not necessarily what they do. And it's more important to respond to people, or it's more important to notice how a person responds to you than what they say to you. Now, I know that sounds a little bit complex, but don't worry. In the book, it's going to make perfect sense. But yeah, life is it's a game, man. Everything's a game. It's going to be another chapter in there. It's going to say, nothing is real. Like, it's no truth. Truth does not exist. Did you know that? It doesn't. Let me unpack that a little bit. The truth. Like when we say, that's the truth. That's the truth. This is the truth. That's the truth. It doesn't exist. Truth is nothing but opinions of others. Like, think about it. You're looking at black, right? You're looking at a black screen. If you're on my Instagram live right now, you're looking at a black screen, right? It's black. But my question to you is, how do you know it's black? Did somebody tell you it is black? Were you convinced that it's black? Yeah, it just was an opinion of somebody, and many people agreed on it, right? Because see, when you talk about the truth, that's just something that can't be changed. How we perceive it in today's time, we say, well, that's the truth. That's what happened. When we talk about the truth, it's like it can't be changed. Just what it is. It's very dangerous. So many things that people thought were the truth, and they're no longer the truth, right? So it's no such thing as the truth, man. Which means that you can create anything that you want, and you can make it real. You can make it the truth. Anything, almost anything, you can make it the truth, right? All right, next question for me here. Let's get out of my book here. Somebody said the truth is in the Word of God, the Bible. Of course, that's what certain people that wrote the Bible want you to believe. Absolutely right. There is no truth until you decide what the truth is. Or there's no truth until you agree what the truth is. Right? Not even decide, it's just what you agree. If you just are what you believe what the truth is. So if you believe it's the truth, it is. We just don't understand how much power we have. We just really don't. Like, even for anything to be the truth, you have to believe that it is true. Like, if you believe that you're poor, if you believe that you're average, you believe that you're ugly, you believe that you're, whatever you believe about yourself, it's the truth. And it's only the truth because you believe it. Let that sink in for a second. Truth is only the truth if you believe it. Like, if you believe you have cancer and the doctor says you're going to die, if you don't believe it, you won't die. You won't die. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe. You might say, "No, I don't believe that." Well, yeah, I mean, that's the kicker, man. And see, the crazy thing is, if you have a ton of people that believe one thing, like, I give you an example. This is going to be an extreme one. Like, if black people believe that white people are after them, or white people deserve them reparation, or white people are killing the black people, and white cops are killing black people, if that's your belief, then that's true to you. But if somebody else said, no, it's not like that, black people need to take more responsibility. They need to take accountability of what they're doing. They need to become better as a race, right? But if you only have like 2 people that believe that, but you got 1 million people that believe the other, then they're just going to throw rocks at you, right? So that belief, and maybe the belief is sufficient, but it would never be evident because it's more people that believe another truth. I think because both can be true, but unfortunately, the person that believes the truth, the more people that believe whatever the truth is, it's just what it is, and that's the sad part. Are you getting value here tonight? Sad part about the world, man. I'm telling you, there's so many truths, so many narratives that are happening on the planet, and unfortunately, the people are not getting what they want. See, it'd be different if you had a narrative, and I hate to keep talking about the black thing, but it's just like black people, and I'm black, right? To continue to talk about how they need reparation and they want to be treated fairly and this needs to stop and Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah. But what they don't realize, like, it's not working, right? Because nothing is changing. Is it not? The black people are still struggling. The black people are still angry. The black people still think that they need a day to celebrate. I mean, do you know we're the only culture of people that have a day, African American month or whatever? Nobody else has a month. We have a whole month, Black History Month. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what they don't realize, nothing is getting better. And the reason why it's not getting better for just the black race, and like I said, I know this is an extreme example here, because black people refuse to take responsibility or accountability of their own people. They just don't do it. They won't just look within themselves and say, you know what, we need to get better as a whole, like ourselves. We need to come together ourselves and become better. Not blaming no other race, not blaming other people for why we're like we are. We need to work on ourselves. We need to educate ourselves, and we need to learn skills. We need to teach ourselves skills, because maybe we don't have them, but we need to teach ourselves. We got to stop blaming other people on the reason why we're not progressing, or the reason why we're not experiencing life how we want to. Right? Extreme example, I get it, but it's the truth, or it's my truth. Next question for me here. Okay. Thank you, Sexy Slim. What's next here? I love you guys' comments here. We have one. Have you ever sat down with your father and talked about the Lord growing up since you're a pastor kid? Of course, in church, man, all the time. I was going to church 3 times a week. I mean, that's all they talked about in my household. The Lord, Jesus Christ, all the time. Absolutely. What's next? Next question for me, please. What do you think about Kanye West? Okay, I give my 2 cents about Kanye West. I think Kanye West is a brilliant man. Very smart. Brilliant. But however, I believe Kanye West is learning that even though we have the freedom of speech, you have the freedom of speech, but you don't have the freedom of speech without consequences. Make sense? Yeah, you can say whatever you want to say. We can. It's written in the Constitution. But you will have consequences, and the reason is because you're dealing with real people. And people are emotional people. We all are emotional people, right? So Kanye West is a strong man. I'll say that to you. He's a strong and powerful man. So despite if they take his money, they take this, they take this, they take that, I think he will prevail, honestly. Whether it's an apology to the Jewish community, or he just kind of close his mouth a little bit and just be calm and play the game, right? Because it's the game, man. You know, life itself, honestly, you know, and you'll learn this if you ever climb that ladder of success. And life is really a game, which you got to play it, man. And it's not about your ego. And a lot of it, you know, the issue with people like with Kanye West is just his ego, man. It's like, oh, I can say what I want, and I'm expose this, and I'm going to do this, and they can't stop me. That's ego, man. Like, it's just all about you. But he's affecting a lot of people in his life, and he just don't care right now. But he will. He's smart. I think he's going to get it eventually, right? Because it's not about being the most powerful person on the planet. See, this is what people don't understand. That's why the people who are the most powerful people on the planet, you're not going to see them talking on videos. You're not going to see them in blogs. You're not going to see them at all. You're not going to even know they exist, because they don't need to talk. But, you know, people that wants to climb that ladder to be the most powerful person, they have this complex that they want to be powerful, and they want other people to see them as powerful. It's important for them. Like me personally, it's not important for people to see me as powerful. I just want to be influential. That's it. I don't have to necessarily be powerful. Which means is I don't mind promoting another person, saying, man, this person is the man. This person, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't matter to me, because it's all about the result for me. And I give you a good example. It's like being married to a woman, and, you know, sometimes you're going to fight. I guess you're going to argue with the woman or whatever. And you're going to have one argument that you're going to know that you're right. You're going to know you're right, right? You're going to know it 100%. Men can all attest to this. It's the time that you know you're right, and you push it. And you push it so hard that you prove to her, without a reasonable doubt, that you are right. But what that man don't understand, that he's going to be on the couch because you lost. Like, even though you were right, you lost. Does anybody follow me? Like, you lost because by proving you were right, it just pissed her off more. She's not going to be in a good mood. Like, oh, yeah, all right, baby, you're right. Yeah, you know what? You were right about that. I don't cook. I don't do nothing. I'm lazy. Whatever, that's not going to make her feel good, right? So you're going to be on the couch, even though you were right, 100%. But you're going to be on the couch because she don't want to deal with you because how you made her feel. So it's the same thing with Kanye West, right? He could be right in what he said. It could be correct. But he's losing the battle because how he's making the people feel. And if you make the wrong person feel a certain way, see, some people you're going to make them feel a certain way, it's okay. It's not a big deal. But if you make the wrong person feel the same way, you got a problem, right? You're going to have a big problem. Same thing with a woman. So you have to think about the end result. And that's what I do in my life, right? I always think about the end result of something, always. Like, do you want to be in love or do you want to be on the couch? You want to be in love. So it's not important for me to prove that my wife or my girlfriend is wrong. It's important for me to make sure I'm sleeping in bed and I'm going to be inside that, you know what, tonight, right? I want to be in the arms of that warm, soft woman. I don't want to be on the couch, right? So that's the ego thing. You got to let the ego go, diminish the ego. It's that important because the relationship is more important. So, my advice to Kanye West is just think about the relationships that you want to have. It's not about being better and being the greatest and like, oh, I can say whatever I want. Man, it's just your ego. Relax. It's about being effective. Makes sense? Because he's the type of man that can implement change however he wants to implement change. But you got to be smart. You got to be intelligent. It's not about you. All right? All right. So that was my 2 cents about Kanye West. All right. What's next here? Are you folks taking notes here? Talk to me here. So you guys will see as I evolve and as I progress, you're going to see that I'm going to play the game. And it's not I'm being soft. Because you might say, oh, that guy's being soft. He's letting these people control him. Oh, no. Nobody's controlling me. I'm just smart. I'm an extremely intellectual man. Even though I never went to college, right? And college does not dignify intellectual ability anymore. It's just I'm very smart when it comes to people, okay? I just know the game that I'm playing. And I just want to be effective. And to be effective, you have to diminish the ego. Especially as you climb the hierarchy, man. You got to diminish the ego. It's not about you. Just relax. Right? The most powerful person on the planet doesn't need to say that he or she is the most powerful person on the planet. Don't need to rant about it at all. Say, oh, I'm the powerful. I can do what I want. No. The person that knows he's powerful, he don't need to say anything because he knows it. So what's the point of talking about it? For what? All right, what's next here? Take notes, young man. So Wes and young lady. So Wes, what do you think the meaning of life is? I had a feeling one of you guys would ask me this question. What do you think the meaning of life is, Wes? I've been thinking about this, even though I do have an answer for you, but I like to listen to other people, such as like Elon Musk. And he's very cerebral, very logical man, extremely smart, like extremely more smart than me. Obviously, this man read the dictionary and the encyclopedia more than once at the age of 8 years old. Can you imagine reading the encyclopedia at the age of 8 from front to back? Yeah, so what Elon Musk said, he was like, well, I thought about the meaning of life, and I was thinking that maybe there's no meaning of life, actually. But I have a different thought about that. And I'm no Elon Musk. And I'm definitely not the richest man on the planet. But this is my thought about the meaning of life. When I think about the meaning of life, I believe everybody to have a meaning, which means that your life matters, right? Meaning means Like it matters. Is to make a contribution to life, to do something in life that makes the world better, some type of way, right? Whatever way that you have to do that, it can be on a small scale, large scale, medium scale, but the meaning of life, to have meaning for your life, you must do something to make a contribution to the world, small or large, that makes life better, make people happier, make people feel better, right? Some type of positive feeling that you're injecting into the world. To me, that's the meaning of life. And you can do it in so many ways. There's so many ways that you can contribute to the world, man. You can feed people. You can create iPhones. You can give people haircuts, style people hair, do makeup. I mean, there's several ways to make contributions to the world, right? But I believe that's the meaning of life for individuals, because it makes you feel that your life has meaning. See, what I do here, this is my contribution to the world, sharing with people my philosophy and my ideology about how to live and how to manifest and how to get rich and how to get wealthy and how to become a virtuous, outstanding person. Okay, this is what I'm here to do. Kind of similar to Tony Robbins, right? You can call me the Black Tony Robbins, right? If you want a metaphor here, but this is my meaning. This what gives me meaning for my life, and I'm making a contribution to another person's life, because by making a contribution, I receive energy back from you, and the energy is positive. Makes me feel good. Just like you, whatever you do for other people, it makes you feel good. I believe the one thing that connects all of us as individuals, as men and women, is one word. It's one word that connects all of us. It's one thing we all have in common, and that's compassion, right? We all feel compassion for others. If we see somebody getting beat up, man, we're going to look and we may jump in if it's unfair. If we see somebody, I don't know, had a bad accident on the side of the road and they need help, we're going to stop. Or if we don't stop, we're going to immediately be like, oh my God, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? So we immediately have compassion for people. Someone get on live right now and they talk about how they lost their mom or their father. We all going to feel sad. We're going to feel, dang, man, keep your head up. I love you. I appreciate you, right? If we see somebody jump on live and they say, oh, I don't look good right now. I look ugly right now. Like the lady last night, she was like, oh, I don't look good. I look ugly. And everybody in the comments below will say, no, you're beautiful, queen. You're amazing. Keep doing your thing. You're gorgeous. It's compassion, which means we feel empathy for people, right? For each other. All of us are like this, right? Which is a very powerful thing. Questions for me here. I know you get value here tonight. I know we got a little bit deeper than usual, but I believe it was necessary. Wouldn't you agree? Wes, if your mind is in the same state as dreaming when you watch TV, can the movie Inception be a real thing? I don't remember the movie, man. Was that The Peel? I can't remember what happened. You have to kind of rejog my memory on that movie. Is being street smart crucial to becoming rich or necessary? No. Street smart? I mean, I'm not street smart and I'm rich. Wes, is being humble as important as being risky? So, I think people don't understand what the word humble means, right? I don't think you folks know what the word humble means, honestly. And that's Ask Ziggy. Give me a second. Hey, Ziggy, define the word humble. Alexa, turn it up to 6. I mean, Ziggy, turn it up to 6. Now I want you to listen to the word humble, right? And we'll talk about it in a second. Because before we talk about, if you should be more humble, I want you to understand the definition. Hey, Ziggy, turn the volume up to 6. Ziggy, define the word humble.
As an adjective, humble is usually defined as not proud or arrogant, modest. As a verb, humble is usually defined as to lower in condition, importance, or dignity.
Ziggy, stop.
Ask me to give you more definitions.
Ziggy, stop. So you heard what Ziggy said? So he said the lower in standard. So it's almost like to look at yourself in a way that's lower. Okay. Not high, but low. To be modest. So I wouldn't say I'm humble. I'm not a humble person at all, based off the definition. I just think that we've got very comfortable with the word humble, but we've never really thought about the definition. And we just think that, well, humble people are people that just, they don't say much. They don't have to talk about what they got. But these are lies. These are not the definition of humble according to the dictionary. Just looking at someone that's, just lowering your stand. You feel less than, because that's what it means to be humble, right? Someone that kind of lacks confidence and not talking about it's the opposite of confidence, arrogancy, and whatever, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't say being humble is something that I'm looking forward to becoming. And I think the word that you're looking for is not humility, right? It's not humble. Like when you talk about being like me, like I'm rich, right? But I don't make people feel inferior, right? I'm not making people feel that I'm better than them, right? I just think the word usage is incorrect, honestly, for the word humility. Because people say, oh, he's rich, but he's so humble. I wouldn't say I'm humble at all, honestly. I'm a very confident, and I'm arrogant as well at times. And I'm cocky, so I wouldn't say I'm humble at all. But I'm a nice guy, right? I'm never going to berate or demean people. I'm never going to make people feel inferior to me. I'm never going to talk down to people. I'm only going to encourage them and promote them always. I don't care if you're a waitress, you can be a waiter, you can be a busboy, you can be working at the valet. It doesn't matter to me, right? I'm always going to lift people up. And that is not humble, based off the definition. All right, next question for me here. Yeah, you guys should know that you can change the name of your Alexa. Yeah, I call him Ziggy. Ziggy. What's next here? You're welcome, precious. So yeah, I wouldn't say that's important. Being risky, absolutely. Take risks for sure. Any more questions for me before I let you beautiful people go? Any more questions for me? I can tell that you guys are listening and taking notes here. How many of you have a ton of notes? What's your question, Diana? She said, answer my cue, please. Spell it out, Diana. Don't be lazy. Okay? I don't know what a cue is. I'm not going to assume that's the word question here. Any more questions for me here? Talk to me. Comment below before I let you go. Thank you, on a mission. Much love. Expensive baby, how are you? Piranha, how are you? Any more questions for me, folks? Talk to me before I let you go. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody was served properly here. You see that? Am I not a great mentor? I'm on a few websites, but I meet scammer guys. Okay, well, don't talk to the scammer guys, man. Dana. Is the truth that smoking will have an effect? Is the truth that smoking will have an effect on our cognitive function in our brain, or is it just someone's opinion? No, that's definitely a fact. There are studies. I was just watching the video on TikTok, and I would say this, you know, if you don't believe it, do your research first and look at the people that smoke and look at the people that don't smoke. Like the people who have been smoking for like decades. Look at the people that are 60, 50 years old that have smoked a very long time, and look at another person that's 50 years old and just see how they act, their habits, their behavior, and ask yourself, which person do you want to be like? But yeah, absolutely, it does debilitate cognitive functionality, and it does some other things in the brain that are very debilitating. And I wish I could share the TikTok that I watched today. I was going to share it, but I didn't. But like I said, you can choose not to believe it if you want to. It's like trying to believe that cocaine is not that is good for you. You say, oh, that's a lot. It's not the truth. It's not. Well, okay, well, you can go down that road, going on that route. I don't know, many people that smoke weed for a very long time. Like I give you an example, like Snoop Dogg. I mean, I like Snoop Dogg. He's a cool guy, but come on, man. I mean, he's definitely not a person that I would say that, that is just into. I don't know, man. I just wouldn't say that's the person I want to hang around with every day, right? I mean, absolutely not. Lil Wayne, and listen to how they talk this lazy talk. And I get it, they're rich and it worked out for them, I guess. But I mean, I think Lil Wayne didn't he have a seizure one time? He had to go to the hospital, had a heart attack. I mean, I don't know, he's too young. It's just, yeah, you look at people's skin that smoke weed or smoke vapes. Look at their skin texture and just how they look. They don't look healthy. So I guess you have to make a decision and I get it, a lot of you are just addicted to the feeling that weed gives you, I guess. But it's definitely going to age you. I'll tell you that, because just look at the people that smoke weed. Rappers and artists, just look at them as they get older. It's ridiculous, honestly. Elon Musk smokes weed. Oh, I never heard that, and I don't know about that. And if he does, I don't think he smokes as much as some of these other people, honestly. How can I get a six-pack, Wes? And just because Elon Musk smokes weed, does that mean you should? I mean, come on. To me, it's just crazy. It's like, just because a person does drugs, I mean, you should do them because they're famous and rich. That's how stupid people are, unfortunately, I'm in the internet marketing space, and, a lot of internet marketers, unfortunately, they do crack and cocaine. So just because they do crack and cocaine and they're making more money than me, that means I got to do crack and cocaine? No. That's just stupid. That's dumb. You kidding me? Why would I do that? But some people, they be like, oh, they do it, so I could do it. Well, they did it. You sound like a damn kid. That's like a child. Well, they did it, mama, so I could do it too, right? You do it. I mean, what the? You see how people are just followers? Okay. Wesley, how did you feel when you couldn't buy all the nice designer clothes, but was surrounded by millionaires at events and who did everything expensively and were all successful? Yeah, I felt good. I mean, honestly, I wasn't. So one thing about internet millionaires, they don't wear fancy clothes. I'm gonna be honest. I'm the only internet marketer. Well, now a lot of people do it now. But back in the day, I mean, nobody was wearing Versace and Gucci. No one was doing that. Like 10 years ago, not in the internet marketing space, honestly, not at events. Like, I think I was the only one. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was other people. Just more people are more successful now. But I think I was the only person. Like when we go to parties, when I made my money, I think I was the only one Gucci-fied out and Versace this. You understand? It's a lot of nerds in the space. It's a lot of socially awkward men. There's some women in the space too, but it's a lot of socially awkward men that are very awkward, man. I'm telling you. I mean, it's changed a lot now, but like 10 years ago, man, a lot of older men, older white men, and it's just, they're not wearing any type of designer brand anything, honestly. Okay, I think I was the only one doing it, if I'm going to be honest with you, and that's after I made the money. Hey, Jennifer Frederick, how are you? I love your advice. Thank you. Wes, what's your take on Charleston White? Is there any positive in him? Charleston White. I haven't. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, if you want me to be honest with you, okay, and don't throw rocks at me, folks. Charleston White is a character, man. He really is. He's a character, which some of the stuff he's saying is right, honestly. Like, do people that do crimes need to go to jail? Absolutely. But he's a character because he's intentionally provoking people, right? And what you don't realize, if you intentionally provoke people who have no emotional intelligence, which is like rappers and drug dealers and all these people, some of these, they are bound to make mistakes. And he wants you to make mistakes because he wants you to go to jail. Charleston White wants you to go to jail. And I agree with him. Like, the people that need to go to jail, they need to go to jail. I mean, if you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, you should go to jail, period. I mean, it is what it is. Right? And it's not about, and it's very disheartening that, it really just blows my mind. You have Black people that are upset at this man because he's calling out people that are doing the wrong thing. And the Black people are saying, no, man, don't tell on them. Don't snitch on them. Let them do it. Let them live their life. But they're doing the wrong thing. Right? They're committing crimes. And this man, he's using his own style, his own delivery to put these people in jail. Right? Because I think he wants, like, rappers in jail, right? He won't. Like, he's very specific. I want rappers in jail. And I mean, if you're doing the wrong thing, I mean, that's where you're supposed to go, right? But it's very disheartening that even Black people are mad at this man because he's putting people in jail. They're supposed to be in jail because it's wrong. See, that's what just blows my mind with Black people. It's just like they feel that certain people should get a pass. They're doing the wrong thing. They're committing crimes. But they'll say, oh, they're not hurting nobody. But they're committing crimes. Dummy. And they're upset at this man and say what he's doing is wrong. And I will defer. I think he's doing a great job, honestly. I think he's a character. I think he's playing the role very well. And he's having fun in the process. He's making a ton of people mad. It's kind of dangerous what he's doing. But it's his life. Like, I wouldn't do it. But it's his life to do it, right? But I am an advocate of putting people in jail and prison that's doing the wrong thing. I mean, if you're a criminal, come on now, right? It's a price that you're gonna have to pay. What's next here? That's what I was going to say. I was against him, but I realized he is more like Kanye, who was telling the truth, and we thought he was crazy, but the whole time he was educating us. Yeah, I mean, listen, one issue with my beautiful Black people is it's like they want a pass to do what they're currently doing. Like, if you sell weed, say if a person sells weed, right, which is illegal in Texas, but he not hurt nobody, right? Because that's what the black person goes say. Oh, he ain't hurt nobody. Come on, it's not a big deal. But somebody else say, no, he's selling weed. He needs to go to jail. Well, the right thing is that, yes, he has to go to jail because he's doing the wrong thing. It's not about if he's hurting people or not. He's doing the wrong thing. And in my opinion, and, you know, I think this is how black people feel that they're sticking together because they're not telling on each other, but they're a part of the problem. You're the reason why the crimes continue to duplicate because, well, you know, I'm not saying that you need to snitch and tell on people, but listen, if you're giving people all these passes, like, oh, you know what, let them get away from the cop. I've seen one video on TikTok. This woman, this black woman, it was a group of them. The cop is running after the man, a black man. And the black people like, run, get out of here. He behind you. But he just stole the car. And the black people trying to get him to get away. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Is this the world that we live in? This man stole the car. He's running from the cops. And the black people are cheering this man on. Somebody, come on, get away. You can get away. Run. I'm like, what the fuck? I just couldn't believe it. I mean, to me, it would say, hey, man, stop, man. Stop. You already in trouble. Stop. Stop. But they telling this man to run, which is going to cause the situation to be worse. So, yeah, we're not going to talk more about that, but that's just insane, honestly. It's just insane, honestly, you know. I mean, I love my black people, man. I'm black, but I'm just like, come on. Why would you tell the man to run? Tell him to stop. He's doing the wrong thing, right? What's next here? Any more questions before I let you go here? Hey, did you get value here? Did you get value? Okay. I'm pretty sure you did. Hey, folks, I'm going to let you know something. I love you, and I'm very proud of you because you're doing something that's very different than most people right now. I consider you a part of the 3%. Because it starts with your activities. I get it. Maybe you don't have $1 million in your bank account yet, but your activities are different from the masses. And that's important. That's very important to understand. Okay. As your activities and what you're doing on a daily basis and the perseverance of your success. And I believe that a ton of you will be successful one day. One day you'll reach out to me and say, Wesley, thank you for the rants. It changed my life. And I get many DMs and emails about this. That's why I do it more, because of the positive reinforcement, the positivity that I get back about these rants here, even in public. So I want you to know something. If you ever feel alone, if you ever feel that no one has your back, if you ever feel that you have no support, remember, there's a black man here in Houston, Texas, who's no better than you. And I got your fucking back. Okay? And I got your back right here on the rant. I got your back. I know what you're going through. At any given time, you can turn on the podcast and you can just listen. Okay? I understand that life is a struggle. It's hard. It's painful. Yeah, it is. But it's not impossible for you to create the life that you deserve to have. Okay? I know it may look impossible and it may feel impossible, but it's not. I'm here to tell you, I'm a witness. Right? I'm an actual person that went through all the adversities of life. And I came out rich. And it can happen for you as well. Okay? So much love. This is Wesley, $1 Billion Virgin. I'll see you soon. And let's go.